Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is October 19th, 2022, and this is the day Bitcoin stood still. What do I mean by that? Let's get into the analysis. Hope you're having a great, what day is it today? Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. All right. Actually, let's start off with Bitcoin. This is the day Bitcoin stood still. What do I mean by that? Well, right here, you can see we've been at this level right now for about a day. Okay? This is the day Bitcoin stood still, going up and down in this range for about 24 hours. Okay? What's interesting about that is, why is that significant? In that same time, the market mover, the DXY, has gone absolutely crazy. Okay, not parabolic, because this is a short-term trend, but let's say from yesterday noon to today noon, okay, the DXY in the same time frame has done this. Okay, and there's a discrepancy there. So this is the time. Whoops, that's not the tool I want. This is the tool I'm looking for right here. So, okay. In that same amount of time, right? Bitcoin was about stable. In that same amount of time, the DXY did this. Okay. Now, granted, this is just 24 hours. It's not, a significant period of time, but this is very important. Why am I comparing the DXY and Bitcoin? If you're new to the channel, welcome. On this channel, we posit that the DXY is inversely correlated to Bitcoin and most risk on assets, stocks, bonds, well, maybe not bonds, but risk on assets, okay? And so what's interesting is if the DXY is going up, we'd expect Bitcoin to go down significantly, right, in the same period of time. However, this is the day Bitcoin stood still. What does that mean? Despite the DXY going up, Bitcoin stayed flat. Okay, this is a strong indication of a macro bottom. This is a very strong indication of a support level, a strong support level, because typically, as we can see, when the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. And if we were meant to go down much further, this would have been that time. Okay, this would have been that time. So yeah, that is the idea of the day Bitcoin stood still. And obviously, you can see that in other assets in the cryptocurrency market. Okay, it's not just Bitcoin holding its ground here, right, on strong support. And quick look at the momentum indicator on the 15-minute time frame. At least you can see we're bottomed out. On the hourly time frame, we're not only bottomed out, but we've printed strong bullish divergence. Okay, confirmed strong bullish divergence. On the 4-hourly time frame, we're bottomed out, and we are just now printing strong bullish divergence. You see that? Let me just draw it in real quick for those of you who do not see it. So you've made a lower low here with these two bottoms, and here in the momentum indicator, you can also say you've made a lower low. Maybe it's not strong bullish divergence. Maybe there's no divergence on the 4-hourly, to be honest. Upon re-examination, I don't really see it. On the daily, you're oversold. So, it's looking good and ready to go. Okay? At some point in time, very soon. And yeah, this is something that we have been waiting for quite some time. Yeah, just going down altcoin market, you can see some assets have already started moving up. Okay, this is this morning at 9 a.m. Polkadot started making an impulse. Okay, and let's check the volume indicator to see if there's volume behind this, and there is indeed volume behind that move, which is something that you want to see if you're seeing positive price action, you know, to make sure it's not corrective. Ethereum stood its ground right here. Reserve rights stood its ground. Synthetics has started moving up slightly. Same with VRA, started moving up slightly. Zilliqa stood its ground, rounded bottom. Kadena stood its ground for the most part. Okay, Litecoin stood its ground. You can see this AB basing right here. Dogecoin stood its ground. Dodo stood its ground. XRP stood its ground for the most part. I mean, it made a slightly lower low. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So yes, this is a day Bitcoin stood still. And so what we want to see, if we're bullish, is, okay, fine. For the past day or so, the DXY has been making this higher high. And it's a low, well, it's not a higher high. It's been going up, okay? It's been correcting upwards. And now let's look at the DXY. As I said before, this is the market mover, okay? You can prove this to yourself. You can look at a chart of the DXY on a high time frame versus Bitcoin in the same time period, and you can see that they're perfectly inversely correlated. Now, what happened here? Why is the DXY going up? I thought we were correcting, or I thought we were, correcting down. I thought we were in a downtrend. Well, we haven't made a higher high, as you can see. This is a high, this is a lower high, this is a lower high. So you're making lower highs and lower lows, okay? So this correction still respects this downtrend, although this downtrend, let's say, it's not very steep, okay? But what is, I mean, let's try to think about this. Like, what could this be? So first, on the small time frames, this is clearly a three-wave move. It's corrective, okay? 1, 2, 3, boom. Okay, you went up. This is impulsive, clearly, right? This move is impulsive. So 1, 2, 3, it's a three-wave move, ending in impulse. That's what you expect. So very, I think it's a straightforward read. A W, X, Y. Here's your W, that's three wave. Here's your X, that's three waves. Here's the pivot, and here's the Y, that's your 5-wave impulse, okay? And here you're starting to correct. Now, that's on the smaller time frame. Zoom out a bit, and trying to make sense of this. I still maintain, here, let's get rid of the momentum indicator, and let's turn on my corrective wave, which is here. Okay, still maintain that this is what we're dealing with. This is our initial break of structure in 3 waves, okay? And this is our B wave in 3 waves. And whatever's over here is either our pivot. It's more than likely our pivot, okay? It's more than likely our pivot. And it's hard to read these consolidation reversal patterns, especially when they're slanted like this, okay? It can either be our pivot or our pivot and a leading diagonal, okay? So let's talk about that. Like, what are we getting here? Because I think this is clear, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You should pivot and then go down, okay? Or something like that. Pivot and then go into impulse to the downside. So let's just focus on that bit. So for me, first thing that jumps out at me when I look at this price action is this right here. Okay, that is a counter correction. That's a B wave. It's very, I mean, it's very clear to me. It jumps out at me. Okay, so if that's a B wave, this is an A wave. So 3 waves down, 3 waves up. Okay, so that's my first degree of AB basing, right? That's my big A, big B. Okay, and then, you know what? The second A wave is like this. If I don't want to overthink it, I just want to take it and read it without questioning too much. That's a 3-wave structure. That's a second degree A wave, and this, what we just put in, is a second degree B wave. This, what we're putting in now, is a type of pivot before going into impulse. These things are not easy to read. It's almost, I don't want to say impossible, but trying to predict that this is going to be what your second degree A wave looks like, as opposed to something like this, like you got in the big A, is almost impossible. I mean, like, because they're corrective waves, all you need to do is put it in a 3-wave structure. It could be simple, it could be complex. Do you see the size? You see this big A is relatively small. This small A, or second degree initial break of structure, is relatively large, and it seems complex because in the middle, the B wave is a thing of its own, right? So very difficult to predict, but it's not necessarily about prediction. It's about, once it's printed, can you make sense of what you see? That's how I use it. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts, but that's the best I can do with these corrective patterns in consolidation reversals. Too much variation, too much variance to be able to say, oh, this second A wave is going to look like this, right? I don't fucking know. Like, it can look like any 3-wave structure, okay? It's just, once it prints, I'll be able to be like, oh, okay, I can see what's going on there. And instead, are you going to get a straight consolidation reversal, or is it going to be slightly slanted like this one? Like, how do you're not to, it's very hard to predict any of that. But once it does print, you can try and read it as you go along. And this is what I'm reading. Okay? And so I am reading that we're in a sort of pivot, right? Because even after you print the 2 degrees of AB basing, which you have here, I think it's quite clear. You have 2 degrees of AB basing, and that would also explain why, even though we've been at resistance, right? The DXY has been at resistance. You haven't really put in much downside price action because you haven't been in impulse. You haven't been in pure impulse, okay? All of this movement to the downside has been part and parcel of corrective waves. So it's chop. This has all been chop. We have not yet experienced any impulsive price action to the downside in the DXY, which is why we have yet to experience any impulsive price action to the upside in Bitcoin. That, to me, makes sense, okay? It's not about knowing 100 years prior, okay? I don't think so. It's about, once it's here and now, being able to read and then react and make the best probable read based off of what you see. And again, it's very challenging as it's forming. It just is what it is. So, yeah, that's my best take on this price action right here. Yesterday, I was also thinking, oh, maybe this is the 2 degrees of AB basing ended here, and because I thought, oh man, that took way too long. But again, this is a massive trend that you're reversing. Okay, it's a big trend that you're reversing. It can take long. It doesn't matter. As long as it's not taking years, right? This is all within the norms of this move right here, right? It still looks like it makes sense, right? A wave, B wave, consolidation reversal, move down. Okay, this consolidation reversal is not lasting months and months and months, right? It's only lasted what, a week? Yeah, about a week, right? So it's within it's within the norms of what you could expect. So I am seeing that, and interestingly enough, in this whole time, you've been making slightly lower highs and lower lows. I think that's much ado about nothing, because at the end of the day, you're not yet in impulsive price action. You're not yet making impulsive price action to the downside. You would have thought that this was it. You would have thought that that was it. But when you look at it, this is clearly part of the same structure. That's a composed B wave. Or, sorry, a composed A wave in this case. Right? So, guys, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts? Would love to hear. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for what I'm seeing in the market now. As a result of my read on the DXY and being at this pivot point, let's put in some proper. So as a result of being at this pivot area, and can we wick above? Yeah, absolutely. We wicked above right here. Let's zoom in on there and see if we can't count 5 waves. In any case, as a result of being near the top or at resistance of this consolidation reversal channel, I do believe that that impulse is finally going to start, and as a result, we should get a we should get a comparable move to the upside in Bitcoin from these levels. Okay, so let's just zoom into that bit there, or actually this wave right here. See if we can't count 5. Okay, so just having a look at this right here, to me, I think it's quite clear. 1, 2, you've got an extended wave 3. Extended wave 3. Wave 4. And that's the end. This is wave 5. This is your initial break of structure. And then you go with your B wave, and then so that's your first degree. You can put in a second degree. I think maybe this is the second degree. You put in one more before you come down. Something like that. But I do see this as being complete right here, especially given this break of structure here. It's quite stark. Okay. And now let's just have a quick peek at our momentum indicator. Let's see. Okay, definitely way overbought on the hourly. The 4 hourly overbought. The daily. Whoops. Interestingly enough, the daily is not so overbought. The weekly overbought. Okay. The monthly has been overbought forever. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, it's just, I think we've run out of runway here, by and large, okay? Because if you just look at this just from a pattern, or sorry, from a channel perspective, right? You were at the bottom of the channel here. And so, yeah, you had runway. But now we've kind of run out of runway. Even if you wick up, you've run out of runway. As a result, it's likely that the downside, any downside potential from here is minimal. Okay, maybe we wick down a bit, but we could just as well take off from these levels. So that was Bitcoin. Cardano. Let's go on the hourly. Okay, you can see AB basing here at the bottom. A wave, B wave. I think this is an entire B wave. And probably the second degree is printing now. I think you have the A wave of the second degree. So that's the first degree right here. That's big A. All this is big B. Let's see. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if this is sufficient to say. I don't know that you could say that this is the first degree. I mean, it's just so, or second degree A wave. It's just so much smaller than the first degree. But you know, again, with AB basing, the size is there's no like right or wrong regular answer. Like big A is always, the first degree is always bigger than the small second degree. They're not necessarily always the same size. There's no rhyme or reason, it seems. So Polkadot's kind of like what Bitcoin's doing. Put in that massive 5-wave move to the top, or to this resistance, and then it put in a subsequent 3-wave move. Okay, so that's a big A, big B, and then this looks like a small A. So I think you get a small B or something like that, right? To finish the reversal. Same with Ethereum. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and then this is a small A, or this is a second degree A wave. Maybe the second degree B wave is finished, perhaps. Reserve rights. Okay, that was not yet impulsive. It can't have been. So let's erase that. This looks like an A wave. This looks like a massive B wave. Or this looks like an A wave, and all of this looks like a massive B wave. Something like that. It's a little tricky. Yeah, this looks like an intervening. So once you have this 3-wave move, and you have, I don't know, I don't like that. Okay, here's what I like best. Here's what I like. This is A, this is B. This is A, this is B. Here's your pivot. I like that better. I like that much better. Okay? Because I just don't like the idea of lumping all of this in one, because Doesn't seem like an impulsive move. This seems like a through wave corrective. Okay, synthetics. Okay, that's very clearly 1, 2, 3. And in obviously it's a zigzag. So 5, 3, 5. I'm trying to read this. Is this an ending diagonal? Mm-hmm. I think so. This is for me, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Looks like it. And so you're gonna break down something like that. Yeah. To the base of the diagonal. And so I believe that synthetics is going to put a correction in down to this level right here, between here and here, something like that. So it goes up. It went up in 5 waves, comes down in 3, something like that. Okay. That wouldn't surprise me. Let's look at the momentum indicator, see what that says. Yeah, your momentum indicator is clearly cross bearish and pointed right down. And so is your 4-hourly time frame. So yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so that's my read on synthetics. VRA. Whoops. Let's just have a quick peek at the DXY. What's it doing? Oh. I still think there's one push up for that second degree V wave. Okay, back to the altcoins. VRA, VRA, VRA. Okay, so I think that your correction, your AB basing starts here. 3-wave move, 3-wave move. That's A and B. That's the first degree. The second degree is here. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this right here. Okay, I think it's coming back down here to finish out this B wave before going up. That's my best take. I think it's coming back down around here. Zilica. Okay, yeah, I spoke about this yesterday. 535. This is essentially just an A wave. That zigzag is an A wave. And then this 3-wave move down is a B wave. Question is, where's the second degree of basing? Or was that put in somewhere beforehand? Oh yeah, here. Okay, that could be, so if this is A, B, small a, small b. This could be the pivot. This could be the pivot. That's what that could be. Vein. I don't know how anybody could trade this other than on spot. It's just so messy. If you guys want me to look at Ravine, I'll look at it, but it just hurts my eyes on the smaller time frames. Kadena. Definitely an A wave and a B wave, but then what's the context? Yeah, context is always important. 3 waves up, 3 waves down. So, are you going 5 waves up? Are you finally going impulsive, or are you doing another round for a pivot or for a second degree? Not exactly sure here. Let's see. Let me zoom out even more. I haven't looked at this in a while. You're right at the cusp. You know, you're holding that 0.618, but just, you know, hanging by a thread on your phi ratio. Yeah. That's a 5 waves up, 3 waves down situation. Right? 1, 2, 3. And now this is all consolidation reversal right here. So you're pretty much there. You're pretty much there. Let's see. On the daily. Yeah. I mean, your entire consolidation reversal pattern this may be just one big flat correction right there. Or it may be that your 2 degrees are here. I don't know. And then this is your little pivot. In any case, when you zoom out, your big macro, you're on support. You're on mathematical support. So you do expect a move up from here. Same with like coin. Doge, yeah, you're still on that support. In that channel that you've been in for 160 days. XRP, we've already talked about testing the top of this channel. That 160-day channel. Yeah, so, I mean, there's nothing new. This big channel that we've been in for 120 plus days now in Bitcoin, we're still at the bottom of it. And with every passing day, it looks more and more like it's just a matter of time before we launch from the bottom of this channel. Okay? Not breaking down from it, but launching from it. You know, 120 days here in Bitcoin, 130 days or whatever it is, and it's closer to 160 days in most altcoins. So I mean, the likelihood is that you go up, you know? The likelihood is that you go up, but when? And I think we can answer that just by saying when this finally breaks down, when this DXY finally puts in that last move to the upside to reject, that's when. I think that's very, very, very soon. This is very soon. All right, that's pretty much it for me, guys. If there's nothing else, we'll just call that a stream. I hope everybody's well. Actually, there's one last thing I want to look at. I want to have a peek at Bitcoin dominance. So let's do that. And let's have a peek at the SPX. So the SPX, S&P 500 has been making higher highs ever since this low right here. People said it was going to break down and go to zero. You've been making your wave 1, wave 2 situation, and now another wave 1, wave 2 situation, it seems. So you're in impulse, it seems, on the SPX, ever since the 12th or the 13th. And that's the day I said that the Bitcoin bull run started. I don't know if you could say, I mean, technically, yeah, if you're making higher highs, but yeah, I don't know if the bull run started in earnest on the 13th, even though on the smaller time frames, we did make that low on the 13th and have held higher levels since then. Okay, whatever. Technically, yes, but theoretically, if you want to look at if Bitcoin's in impulse right now, we've concluded it's not impulse. It can't be impulse because this was wave 1. Wave 2 can't take 10 times as long, But yeah, I switched off because I wanted to look at dominance. Let's look at that. Okay, so dominance. Let's turn off the volume indicator. Again, it seems like we can't breach this level right here. This resistance is strong, and I do think that if you look at this is one massive consolidation reversal pattern. It's a rising wedge, which are typically bearish patterns, and it just seems to me that if you have 3 waves up and then you have any sort of price action after it, you're likely to continue down. That's my take. And it would make sense that dominance would break down once the bull run starts because altcoins are going to outrun Bitcoin, which they should. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's just that resistance. I'm trying to read it, but it's essentially just a bunch of consolidation, most likely consolidation reversal. All right, let's go back to our DXY. Okay. Yeah. So that's it for me, guys. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. Take care. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live stream. Bye.